Sometimes silence isn't ignorance, it's observation. And in the palace, the deepest silence belongs to the emperor. The letter had been delivered, the incense had been traced. The names had begun to circulate. Not openly, but carefully, quietly, and now Mamal's name had reached the highest seat in the empire. The emperor said nothing. But those around him noticed. He declined 3 council meetings. He requested older records from the court physician's branch. And when served his tea, he simply stared at it for a moment before waving it away. Jinshi received a summons the next day. Inside the royal chamber, he stood alone before the emperor's shadowed figure. "The girl," said the emperor calmly. "She was trained as an apothecary?" "Yes, and the daughter of ... Lady Lihua," Jinshi answered after a pause. There was no anger, no surprise, only stillness. "Then," said the emperor, "she has seen more than she was ever meant to." Outside, Mama wandered the herb garden again. Her steps slow, her thoughts careful. She no longer feared being seen. The palace knew she existed. It knew who she was. And it hadn't moved against her, not yet. She sat beside a blossoming mullein tree. Its flowers were pale white, her mother's favorite. She crushed one gently between her fingers. "They'll never apologize," she murmured. "But I don't need them to. I only need the truth to outlive the silence." That night, a messenger arrived, no insignia, no guards. He handed Malmo a sealed pouch and left without a word. Inside, a hair ornament. Intricately carved, familiar, it had once belonged to Li Hua. Beneath it, a single strip of paper read, "Some memories cannot be returned, but they can be honored." Malmo held the ornament for a long while, then stood, lantern in hand, and walked deeper into the night. Because even if the emperor said nothing, he had acknowledged her. And sometimes in the palace, that was more powerful than any decree. The days that followed were long, the kind where sunlight streamed in through high windows and motes danced in the air. The kind where a light breeze stirred the hanging scrolls and the scent of plum blossoms drifted in from the gardens. It was during these seemingly ordinary moments that Jinshi found himself thinking most about the emperor. What did it mean? To live in a place like this, where whispers could carry the weight of secrets and where silence could speak volumes. He looked out over the courtyard, his gaze lingering on the old apricot tree. It had been there when he first entered the palace, a silent witness to countless seasons. Just as the tree had endured, so too had the secrets buried beneath its branches. How many stories had it seen unfold? He wondered how many lives had it silently observed. One afternoon, while organizing documents in the emperor's study, Jinshi came across a hidden compartment. Inside, he found a collection of letters tied with a faded ribbon. They were addressed to the emperor, penned in a flowing script that hinted at a bygone era. With trembling hands, he unsealed one of the letters, its contents both familiar and shocking. They spoke of a past love, a forbidden romance that had captured the young emperor's heart. The letter was signed with the name Li Hua. A memory stirred within Jinshi, a fleeting image of a woman with gentle eyes and a sad smile. Was this Li Hua the reason for the emperor's seclusion? Had their love story ended in tragedy, leaving him to rule an empire he no longer cared for? As Jinshi delved deeper into the letters, he uncovered a tale of love, betrayal, and sacrifice. Li Hua, it seemed, had been more than just a concubine. She was a confidant, a friend, and a constant presence by the emperor's side. Jinshi felt a pang of sympathy for her. Despite her tragic fate, her spirit seemed to live on in the emperor's memories. He carefully placed the letters back in the compartment, knowing that some secrets were best left undisturbed. Days turned into weeks, and Jinshi found himself drawn into the daily routines of the palace. He assisted the emperor with his ablutions, a task usually reserved for close attendants, and listened patiently to his rambling conversations about ancient texts and forgotten lore. One evening, as they sat in the dimly lit study, the emperor suddenly turned to Jinshi, his eyes filled with a haunting sadness. "Do you ever miss her?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Jinshi hesitated, unsure how to respond. He knew who the emperor was referring to, but to answer would be to violate the unspoken rules of the palace. He chose silence, hoping the emperor wouldn't press him further. The question hung in the air between them, a silent acknowledgment of the past that neither man was willing to confront. That night, as Jinshi lay in his quarters, he couldn't sleep. The emperor's words echoed in his mind. Do you ever miss her? Who was she? And why did she haunt the emperor's thoughts even after all this time? Jinshi pondered the possibilities, wondering if he could uncover the truth behind her presence in the palace. He knew it was a dangerous path to tread, but the mystery was a siren call he couldn't resist.